actually matters, when you should lay down like a good dog, you don't fucking do it. Like most of my friends struggle to actually understand what I'm saying. But that's why I'm a professional and you're all not. Generally because you're just fucking brain dead.
Yeah, I'm very brain dead. Yeah.
This story always starts the same. In the beginning, it's perfect. They treat you like a god on a pedestal. You are their everything, and it feels amazing. Within a few days, they say those magical, coveted words we all long to hear. I love you. And you believe them because up to now, their words and their actions align with their declaration. You feel safe as your heart pulls closer and closer to them, convinced that they are your soulmate. You feel loved. You feel cherished. You are theirs. Feeling secure, you share everything with them. Your past traumas, your fears. You show them the real you. Because it's safe. And they are there for you. And one day everything changes and that first fight erupts like a volcano explosion that no one saw coming. They threaten they will leave you, hurling hurtful accusations. Their words are cold and heartless as they twist your past wounds into weapons. They deny your past traumas and they place the blame squarely on you. And then as you stand there breaking down, not knowing what to say, you start crying. Suddenly, their demeanor changes. They take you into their arms and they plead. They tell you that it'll never, ever happen again. See, the problem is, the cycle has begun. And every time it happens, it gets worse. And one day it's so bad that they even get physical and they lay their hands on you. Yet, you lie and you hide what they do to you because they convinced you that no one will believe you. But what happens when your partner is a famous internet celebrity with over 2 million YouTube subscribers? And he threatens you that if you ever try to expose him, he will write his own narrative and no one will believe you. Well, you create a Google Doc of 82 pages and you make public all of the evidence that show your side of the story. Well, this is the current situation with IamAllexx. He is a self-proclaimed internet sensation and a YouTuber with over 2 million subscribers. His normal content is usually, well, it falls under commentary, but mostly it's just spilling the tea and criticizing people with bad jokes. And he was also in some hot water a couple of years ago because he accused one of his friends, Lazo, of some really heinous abuse. And even when those allegations were proven to be false, Alex stood his ground and stood by his statements. Alice, his ex, posted on social media about an ex that had been abusive towards her. People put 1 and 2 together and figured out it was Alex, and allegedly she liked all of the posts where people said something about Alex. After a lot of backlash, she posted an 82-page Google Doc with video and audio evidence to prove her side of the story. In the past 24 hours, that doc with all the videos have been downloaded so many times that it is currently unavailable to watch those videos. I spent a large majority of today watching clips and YouTube videos by other creators, including Rachel Oates and Sensitive Society. And the more I learn about this situation, the more my heart goes out to Alice. Echoes of my past abusive relationships replay in my mind as Alex says the same words to Alice that my abuser had said to me. And I say this not to make this about me or tell my story. I say this because this is why I believe Alice. I've seen the situation, and I know that while you're in it, you miss the red flags. And it's so easy that in that first stages of a relationship that you're so caught up. And then once you're in it, it's so hard to get out. But once you have seen the patterns, once you've experienced it, you can see it and you can recognize it. Maybe not always for yourself, but in others, it's visible. You see it and you know. And so, Alice, I can tell you, you are not alone. Here is my message to anyone currently experiencing DV and gaslighting. The moment that you have to press the record button to get evidence, not only for your own sanity, but to prove to others the abuse that you are experiencing, that moment right there, that is the moment when you need to start planning your way out. That should be your wake-up call. And let me say this. Anyone that says, oh, why didn't you just get out? Why didn't you just leave? Abusers have the ability to very often isolate people from their support structures, make their victims dependent on them financially, emotionally. And the other thing is that not every day is a bad day. There are days when things are perfect, like in the beginning, and there are good times. And so it kind of creates this instability. You never know what's going to happen. And let's face it, victims are afraid of their abusers. It's not just that easy to leave. But that moment when you press that button to start recording, that's the moment. You need to start finding a way to get away. In her Google Doc, Alice provides substantial evidence for physical, verbal, and severe psychological abuse. And even though we as outsiders need to label these allegations as alleged, the weight of the evidence is substantial. And people have said that we might not have full context. Maybe Alice provoked Alex at sometimes, and we need to wait for Alex to respond. I don't think necessarily that posting this Google Doc on the internet might have been the best way to go about it, simply because of that fact. But I do understand why Alice did it if we think about what happened to Slazow, and also the fact that after that, Alex has now threatened her. So what was she to do? And we need to really use critical thinking when we comment on this online, because the fact of the matter is that even though there's a screen between us and the creators we watch, and we've seen Alex on YouTube Instagram, maybe even TikTok, or, Facebook. The fact stands that both Alice and Alex are real human beings, and this is something that is not spoken about enough, and I think it is a reality that needs more attention, because so often abusers were victims themselves who never found their own voices, and so they echo those of their abusers. It is truly my hope that through more brave victims and survivors speaking up about their experiences and their stories and finding their voice, that we can set a foundation where we can prevent the cycles of abuse from turning more victims into abusers. And I also hope that we can learn how to clearly distinguish real victims from those who play victim and falsely accuse others. Alice, many survivors and victims and people in support of you have read your document. I really hope that you know that you are not alone, and we believe you.